What's the current problem and what's the goal?
Yep. I am trying to open up my little flowchart. Where is this? All right, cool. Actually, I'm gonna stop your screen share for a little second so you see like what I'm trying to build out.
Yep.
And this is a doodle from my iPad, so it's not gonna be as nice as yours, Figma. So, all right, cool. So for my ad creatives, I like to separate them into like photo and video. Both are proven to work. So for photos, I'm doing a few, and I'll show you the examples. It's basically like offer, and then some that are just like social proof, like wins and testimonials. And same thing with the videos. Like you guys created the UGC stuff, so that's the social proof. And then the offer is basically like talking head videos. So let me show you what I mean. It's the video stuff that I'm gonna need some kind of help with. So for like this is like a concept. I'm not sure if you can see. Do you see my window or?
Yep.
All right,
In
yeah,
Toronto.
yeah. So like Toronto is like one of our most proven cities. Like we have the most sales there. So we're trying to do local ads there. So this would be like a concept, right? And I created 5 creatives for this concept. Now, with photos, it's pretty simple. Now, when I'm doing like a talking head video ad, and are you familiar with the concept like talking head video ad, dude? Or should I like play one?
Yeah. Is it like you walking in Arizona? That kind of talking head?
Yeah. Or just like, let me show you actually best one. Like here is Brian.
Running YouTube ads is the easiest way to get qualified leads because 90% of advertisers left the platform last year after all the targeting changes, meaning there's a huge blue ocean.
So it's basically a talking head ad will have a hook and then some sort of value and then goes into the offer. And offer usually will be like, hey, check out my VSL or tap the button below to learn more. Now, the part where I'm getting stuck is for these talking head ads, right? I'm coming up with 5 different concepts slash angles. Now, Harmozy says he tests, let's say, 50 hooks for each angle or concept. And the hook can be different. Like if you're a photographer who wants more leads, or if you're a photographer struggling to get leads, like 2 different hooks. Um, how the hell do I get so many variations in the ad account? Is it something I even need to do? Like obviously I'm not gonna do 50 hooks like Hormozy. That's crazy. Maybe 5 to 10 max. The 2 ideas that I was battling with was in one ad set, I could put 5 different angles, and whichever is the winning angle, then I start creating variations and iterations of it. Or do I start more scientific first and create variations from day one? That's where I'm stuck.
Okay. I got you covered. Let's do this. I was just like filling in some things while you were doing this, but
Yep.
this is a framework that like it worked really well for a couple. Like I first started doing these like workshops where it's completely empty and it was very hard to kind of like it took 40 minutes to get into the meat of it. And then I played with these different like formats and like this one got it's kind of like when you break that sweat in like 40 minutes, like how do you break the sweat in 5? And this was like that thing that got it for us. And it was just 3 questions. Like once I understood what everybody wanted to do, but they couldn't do. Now, mind you, like I'm solving this from the lens of you don't actually have to create any content. Your content exists within the existing talking heads and your existing photos and your existing customer testimonials. You don't have to create anything. And the constraint everyone always has is, well, I can't create anything. I can't create that video that I want to do because I have to shoot it. So like, what are those ideas that you want to shoot? Let's start there. Are there any that exist? Like,
Yeah.
what's in backlog, for example? Like, I just put Toronto
Yep.
as an angle because it's like something that it's not launched yet, but it's backlogged, right? Like, are there any other things that you talk internally that you're like, okay, we got to do this?
Let's say guaranteed 100 leads per month.
Okay. That's something you want to get to, you just haven't gotten to yet.
Yep.
What else?
Then another one we wanted to do was just like a mini offer on the ad. What that means is basically a condensed version of our VSL.
Okay. What about ad concepts? Like, are there any concepts that you wanted to shoot?
Like, I mean, I made some scripts. Is that what you're meaning?
Well, like, I guess we can bounce here real quick.
Yep.
So, to what inspires you, right? Like, and what the inspiration will feed the backlog. And I saw like you had a folder. Who
Right.
else is there? Like, what other brands exist there?
Let me quickly check. Chase Chappelle. Do you know him?
Mhm.
Yep, he's there. Then One Peak Creative.
How do you spell that?
One, and then Peak, like Mountain Peak Creative.
Mhm.
And then I have this guy, man, what's his name? He's on. I have him saved, but I don't know his name. Hold on. It's a YouTuber. It's an ads YouTuber. Ben Heath.
How do you spell that?
Ben, Ben, and then Heath, like Heath. Yep,
Anybody else?
that's him. And then I also have Alex Becker.
So like the Hyros ads.
Yep, those Hyros ads, and then Charlie Morgan.
What's in common between all those ads you have saved? Are they just VSLs? Because Charlie Morgan runs VSLs in his ads. I've seen them before.
Yep.
And
All
then
of them,
that was also VSL here.
yep. All of them talk about their offer up front, like they're going to a very sophisticated audience.
Just a straightforward pitch,
Yep,
basically.
just a straightforward pitch.
Okay. And you resonate with that because that's how you sell. You just like to get straight to the point. And you feel like you can do that.
Yeah, but also the audience has sophisticated, dude. Like 2 years ago, like I was one of maybe 4 or 5 people selling courses in coaching. Now there's a lot more competition, so people are aware, like, okay, there's an offer behind the VSL. So what's that offer? Just tell me up front.
So kind of like the Sam Ovens Quantum Mastermind ad where it's like 36K, here's what you get, and you
Yep,
disqualify people up front, stuff like that.
correct.
Okay. And why do you like the guys in the ad space? Because these are all like ads, right? You're in wedding photography.
Yeah,
Why YouTube ads, Facebook ads, agency? I guess that's close. Like he does like the acquisition thing.
yep,
Becker's ads. I'm assuming these guys are creatives for ads, and I don't know. Ben Heath, you said is a Facebook guy.
yep. He's a Facebook
Why?
guy.
So like if you're getting inspiration from the ads guys, like you don't want to do ads for people, right? You're teaching people how to be the skill set. Like why these guys?
I think the messaging itself is really good. Like it's sharp, clear messaging. It's like do this and we get you this result, or do this and you're gonna get this outcome.
And do they do that talking to camera or do they have visuals?
They
All that
actually
flipped.
do both. So they will usually have B-roll or they'll have social proof come up on screen while they're talking.
Cool. Okay. And then we can bounce real quick now here. Your all-time ads, like what's worked the best all time? Like you have that one photo, the Canva photo, right? Where it's like the wedding photographer. How would
Mm-hmm.
you describe that one if I was blind?
Uh, we just call it like a graphic wedding photo ad.
How can you distinguish it? Because like you can make a bunch of graphic wedding photos.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, should I be more specific about that wedding photo?
Yeah.
Um, Couple. Like it's the couple in the wedding photo. Yeah, couple wedding photo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any others?
Talking head has also worked really well. So
Like
me
all
talking.
time, like you talking in the
Oh
camera?
yeah, yeah. Like we crushed it in 2023 with talking heads.
Okay. And where do UGCs rank here?
UGC, I would say it's third right now.
All time?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we can also delete stuff. Like we're just filling and then we're gonna like cut. But would you say like customer?
Yep. Testimonials.
Anything else? Or what's worked?
That is it, man. The Yeah, like the photos that look like their work with a headline on top of it that worked like killer, me talking straight to the camera about the offer or benefit that worked. And then of course the UGC mashup, that was also killer.
Cool.
And then what didn't work was indirect, very vague, long drawn out curiosity based ads, whether it was graphic or me talking to the camera. Anything that's not short, punchy, to the point, always failed.
I'm gonna put here. Goal is 50 ads by tomorrow. It'll be very simple, you'll see. Cool. And then our constraints, this will just be like the constraints, like it has to be straightforward and it has to have clear messaging. Okay, next question. Of replicability, like ease of content, like what do you have a ton of content around? Like where would you say the most abundant content here? Like how many couple wedding photos do you have? Like are they stock photos or do
They're
you like
stock, so I can have infinite, basically.
okay. We have like infinite, let's say like 1,000 plus raw
Easily.
assets.
Easily, yeah.
Cool. How many talking heads do you have that
Maybe like, well, I'll say like 10 plus, but there's also my coaching calls, there's also my short form social media content. So if we count those, there's a bunch.
but then to do those, like we gotta cut and you gotta like find and comb, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay. And
It's
then
way easier for me to just record something fresh than to do all that.
okay, I'm just gonna mark this with stickers because that's hard. That's easy. And
Yep.
then how many customer testimonials do you have? Like have you gotten more since
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember when last we did it, but yeah, I have more. So I would say at least 5 to 10 more. And then also there's like wins screenshot that are just like texts inside the community.
So this is your all-time best ad, right?
Yep.
Or concept, and you have the ability to do even more.
Yep.
Okay. And then this is predicated on you talking. And then like, let's assume that every other video that you've done did not include this. Let's assume that, because you're gonna want to re-record, like you said, based on this message here. Or,
Mhm.
well, you told me earlier, you said like you want to spend tomorrow like recording a bunch of content.
Yep.
But there's also a risk like you might not produce the content that you think you need. So I'm gonna work on the concept where it's like we're not gonna do that because like there's a lot of pressure on like if you build it around this and you don't deliver, it's like the whole thing will kind of collapse. That's where I'm like looking from like let's not start there. So does that make sense? I'm not saying don't do it. Like how do you do both at the same time, but you don't bank on the thing that is predicated on like your mood, your energy, how you sell tomorrow, right? Like, and then cutting it up and like, there's a lot of gambling on how that'll, at least to me, that's how I perceive like talking heads. Like, I've never seen anyone like get it right in the first go. And like, they gotta keep chugging along. It's a volume thing.
Yep.
So, all right, with that in mind, one idea, now I'm gonna start going to ideas and now we're gonna start bouncing around back and forth. So, um, you have a VSL, right?
Yep.
I saw Brian, he had an AB. AB is basically left side
Yep.
B-roll, right side, him talking.
Yep.
You can produce that right now. Because you can take your VSL already.
Right.
So there's one, like, now the question is like, okay, cool. Mini VSL, we're gonna do test formats. What are formats, you ask? Well, these are formats. Those are different hook frame templates. Brian was running this one.
Yep.
So you can also run this one, right? We're gonna take this and now we're gonna pump this here. And if at any point I go too fast, just slow me down. So we're gonna do AB plus headline. So you're gonna do the same thing, same VSL. We'll define what A equals. It could be customer testimonial. It could be like a screen recording of the program. It could be a bunch of different things, but we can try one with like a call out with your best call out from the wedding photo.
Yep.
There's just another creative. So when I reference AB and AB headline, just have those frames in mind. Now it's like you can experiment a couple ways. You can experiment with different frames, like vertical, horizontal, and like, you know, you go ABC and you can do like you talking and then like a customer's success and a customer success,
Yeah.
for example. But
Right.
like, I wouldn't overcomplicate that yet because you want to get the messaging right in these things first. So what are like the big things you can pull, right? Like you can do AB, let's define AB now. We can do B equals VSL, A equals, what did Brian have there? Like
Just
B-roll?
let me see. Actually, yeah, let's see. That is a good question. Oh, he just had him talking and then the words popping up on the screen. So on the left side, it was running YouTube ads is the easiest way to get qualified leads. So basically, it's a caption.
Cool.
And
Here,
then later on, he goes to his website and he's scrolling through the testimonials.
we're gonna do scrolling website results page. That's for you,
Yep.
mobile. Because your mobile will like be stacked because you have a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one video is just gonna be captions.
Yeah.
Very easy to produce with your VSL, constant variable. Second one, like you're just gonna do a screen recording of your website, scroll all the way down, scroll all the way up. There's your Second video, keep the VSL the exact same. Third one. What are there any other motion things that you could do, like maybe a community?
Yeah, I could show inside the community or scrolling through the wins inside the community.
What do you think people resonate with the most
Um,
when they're like purchasing, you know, like you should tell them this thing and like it clicks, like, oh yeah, I'm in.
I think it's just customer UGC. Seeing somebody else on screen talking about their results always helps.
Okay. That has to be a different concept because this is almost like the focus here is on the VSL, less than
Yeah.
the customers, right? Because like we have to define like because the customers you want to hear them, you can't really see. Because like in the product business, you can just show like if you have a coffee product, like just mixing the coffee and it's just a visual aesthetic ASMR. With
Hmm.
your product where it's like knowledge and like people talking about results, you unless you can show what it's like to be a wedding photographer, you can show B-roll of that, for example.
Yeah.
But I would only show what works. So maybe that doesn't work. So, okay, cool. Let's say like that's it. We've tapped out there. So do you think having the website results page would be a meaningful test element?
It definitely would be.
Okay. So then we're gonna do two of those. And then I'll go mobile results. Mobile. What's our all-time best headline?
How we book 2 to 4 weddings per month.
All right, I'm just gonna call it best of best headline.
Yep.
So it makes sense. Results, scrolling, VSL, headline, best of best. And that'll
Yep.
be straight down the center like this.
Uh-huh.
All right, you can do two of those. Make sense?
Yep.
So there's 4 ads. You take your VSL, put this into CapCut or something and like or
Yep.
Veed, and then
Yep.
it's done. So that's just like a concept. 4 ads done. When you find a winning element, then you can iterate and you can go ABC, you can re-optimize these things. Whatever it is, you can swap this visual, but like you're just trying to like take, I'm just pulling this from what I saw from ads, but I'm taking inspiration,
Hmm.
taking what you have and repurposing it. And the constraint is like, well, it's really important to hear the visuals. So how do you do the visuals without like, or the audio without audio? You just show it. And
Yep.
that's the page of results. Um, if you also wanted to do like another thing, I'll add this results community.
Yep.
I mean, you can just test that. So those 5 ads, and you just keep going. And I wouldn't go too deep on like community and too deep on website until you're like, oh shit, like website is just crushing. Okay, optimize that, make that better. Or community is working. Like what tab within the community? What should I like zoom in on? Like what should I hold on? Like what should I show? So this is where I would stop and be like, all right, cool, ideation done. Does it make sense? This like
Hmm.
this concept
Yep. It
seem
does.
feasible, doable?
Yes.
Cool. We keep going. 9 more. Um,
More. Love it. Oh man.
so we had Toronto, we had 100 leads per month.
Yep.
You don't have any content for this, right?
No. No. Just an idea.
Okay. but you have UGCs that have no text over them, right? No banners.
Mm-hmm.
So can you take the headline or the copy and just put that over the best mashups?
Yeah, for sure. To
Okay,
be honest, the easiest test would be taking my mashups and putting my best headline on because I have not even done that.
there you go. Matchup plus 100 leads. Oh, not with the best headline, right? You said?
Best headlines, like as a banner.
So, okay, there's you have two concepts there. So we're gonna do best of best mashups
Yep.
plus best of best. Um, Headline. Now my question to you is, what do you think has a bigger lift? Headline or mashup?
Headline.
So are you willing to bet that you can beat the current headline? Or would you prefer to like try 5 different mashups with the same headline?
Uh-huh. Well, here's the thing. I have a couple of different headlines, right? For example, like headlines about leads work really well. Headlines about actually booking clients, that also works really well. Then also headlines about transformation, like how this photographer went from 30K per year to 150K per year. That works. So that's three proven headlines.
Okay, but if you had, just for another idea, but like if you had to pick,
Yeah,
do you like, is there one headline that's like bulletproof, that it's like pretty evergreen, that
yeah,
you're,
I do.
the book 5 to 10, that one?
Yeah, 2 to 4 clients per month.
So at this point, what do you have, like 25 mashups, 30 mashups?
Easily.
Okay,
And I
so
will definitely have, yeah, 5 that work really well.
you're just gonna have to like, I'm just putting best of best, like you're just gonna have to classify them.
Yeah.
And every test should have a single objective, like with this one, you're trying to see like, okay, cool. You're gonna take the best mashups across different concepts and like if it blends well with the headline, like why? And then you start taking your new mashups and you replace them inside the clip, for example. And going back to this, like you're just making that your mashup is single video,
Yeah.
and then you're putting your headline right there. That's it. That's what this is.
Yep.
So another thing that I was thinking about as you're saying like talking heads and mashups was like you can easily record 5 intros saying like if you don't think that like you can book 2 to 4 weddings, like try the leads, try the sit, like you can try 5 different intros and then you go to your best of best mashup.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a 5 second
Alex
clip.
Becker did that, dude.
I know. Yeah. So you do um TH. And this will have to be like your best of best number 1. Like you're only testing one of those.
Yeah.
Fucking head. Making sense so far?
Yep.
Cool. So we can come back to this. I have like another diagram, which is like, how do you come up with the scripts? Like what I would do if I were you. But if I show you that right now, we're gonna like lose the juice here. So we're just gonna keep plugging along.
Okay.
No, like these aren't final. These are just ideas. Like we can still be cutting and like removing, but like feel free to jump in and just say
Mhm.
like your ideas. I'm just gonna add in the thing that you already have, which is You had that in there, right? Couple
Yep.
wedding photo plus Toronto.
Already made.
One note, I would remake those and emphasize Toronto because I couldn't see it. It was, I
Cool.
would make it like your yellow that you have, so it like really stands out.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I was looking at it, and when you were saying, like, I was reading it, and then you're like, well, the whole point is around Toronto. And I looked at it, I was like, well, I would not have guessed the word Toronto because I'm not looking for it.
Right. Yep. Okay.
Just to know.
Yes.
Um, all right, well, let's get creative now with like these things. Like, feel free to like, this might be a little bit tricky, so I'm gonna cut that one.
Yeah, I have seen, if you scroll to the left, Chase Chappelle used that one.
This one?
Top. I mean, we could do the bottom one too, but yeah, he did that. So it was basically him saying, this, uh, this is the wedding photographer helped him get X, Y, and Z results. And then this is also Alex, another wedding photographer, helped him get X, Y, and Z results. And the A was basically their website or their Instagram opening up, and he was just talking about these people and the transformation.
How can you make this more modular? Like, how can you have the hook be custom, but the rest of the video be the same for each? Like, I think that's a great idea. You do, oh, they're called green screens, like talking
Yep.
head green screen. Who are your top five? Like, are there any customers that people, um,
Like talk about or get
yeah,
convinced
they're
by.
like, I saw this one interview that you had. Like, I would almost do like, do people trust the male reviews more than the females?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that I don't know.
So we tested.
Yeah,
So you do your two best client reviews that are like male. I know you
two.
have that one with the couple,
Right.
so you do couple. It is red. You'll only answer that question, and then moving forward, now you can like, cool, I need to like, you can go deeper into like different kinds of females, different kinds of males of like the interviews that you've done.
Yep.
Now the script you use, like, different question, but like, um, yeah, I mean, if you could do custom talking points for each one, like that's great, but it's gonna be really hard to keep consistent.
Yeah. It would just have to be just monetary results. Like they went from X dollar to X dollar.
Yeah, and then you can go, um, and it goes into like mashup.
Yeah. The best mashup.
And all you're doing here is you're just seeing like, this is your fail safe. If people watch, like, you know that there's a likelihood that they can still click. This is your hook.
Yeah.
And if like you find the combination, that plus that, so you just record like a, make sense?
Yeah.
All right, you're at 20, bro. Not counting your Toronto. How do you want to incorporate this one?
That, let's not jump into that because that's a guarantee. I don't know if we're ready to offer a guarantee. I would have to actually talk with Christina and see like, do we want to start making guarantee claims?
Okay.
Yeah.
Within the couple wedding photo, with, is there a certain background or like sepia or like any effect
Like type of
filter?
photo that worked the best.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like hard to describe. It's like a very, what photographers call light and airy. That's the style, light and airy.
Airy, like this?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you get more of them?
I mean, yeah, I could download a bunch more.
So have you done them at all since then? Like, have you replicated that at all?
Yep, I
Oh,
have.
okay. And it
Yeah.
hasn't worked as well?
No, man. Like lead cost wise, it works, but we're not getting enough calls.
Cool. Um, any other ideas?
So what if I was to actually do the talking head, right? So let's say, how would I chop up those? Would it just be five different hooks and then the tail end of the video is the same?
What's your talking head gonna be?
So let's say the talking head starts with like running ads on Instagram is the best way to book more weddings right now. This is how we've achieved X, Y, and Z results. If you tap the button below, it breaks it all down for you in a short video. That's kind of the rough script. And then the different hooks can be, hey, if you want 100 wedding leads every single month, or hey, if you want to book 2 weddings every single month, or like tired of your wedding ads not working, like those can be all different hooks.
Okay. So what I would advise you to do is do one take. And
Mm-hmm.
you were saying like each line was a different thing, right?
Yep.
Line one, line two, line three, line four. There's your control, logical order of your script. Video number two, you shuffle. You start with line two, and you restart the video all over again. So you're like, does this have an impact? Cool. All right, start again. So
Got it.
does this make sense at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this
Or
is done in editing, basically. The editor's chopping it up.
your editor, you just tell them like this is like the cut, and you say put this first, and then what it's gonna look like in practicality is.
Brighter colors, louder laughter,
Can you hear the audio?
Yep.
and tastier snacks are often reported. Today is the day I'm finally gonna.
That's the start of the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Today is the day I'm finally gonna try.
That's a control.
Uh-huh.
It's just a light, nice feeling where I feel like I could go out and be social. Today is the day I'm finally gonna.
They're all clips from the video.
Right.
On the no alcohol train, I highly recommend these. Gives you something social to sip on and makes you feel amazing. Today is the
That was a call to action.
alcohol train. I highly recommend. This one was wondering if I was gonna make it off the couch. It's just a light, nice feeling where I feel like I could go out and be.
So you take the same 1 minute video and you just shuffle them. What's the call to action in the video? You put that first. What's the point where they're talking about problem? Put that first. What's the point where they're talking about transformation? You put that first. So it's like people that never see that, they see it first. And you're like, well, okay, cool. Transformation gets the most people to actually watch the whole video. So now just keep doing more of those. So in your case, what would you call this video you're about to make? Is that like the VSL?
Yeah. This is like a talking head VSL.
Okay. So no cuts.
Yeah.
Start from.
Line one. Yeah.
If you understand what that means, I'll just put that there.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
clicks.
yeah, yeah. I totally get it.
And then with the VSL, it's like you have the hero's journey, right? And it's just like you just start those different points first.
Yep.
Like if imagine making a movie trailer, it's like you show the person who's about to like save the princess and like it cuts to the beginning of the video. You never see it. Start all over again. Like what was about to happen? Let me see. Or are you seeing somebody about to um like the character about to get the epiphany and it's like you're about to see it and like nope, start over from the beginning. You're never gonna see it until you watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
So
in this
yo, let me
case,
ask you this, right? So for the talking head VSL, right? What's a typical talking head ad? Usually the 80% of the work is just the script by itself. Like what I'm saying in the script. For example, the script can be like, hey, we'll get you guaranteed 100 leads per month. This is our proprietary system, X, Y, and Z. The other script can be, we just help this photographer get X, Y, and Z results using our proprietary system. So those are very unique scripts. Would it make more sense for me to first test the script and see what's working and then make variations like start from line 1, 2, 3, 4?
I mean, you can test those right now and do that right here. That's your script. Same video, different
Yeah.
talking. Test it. In your long form VSL like that, it's gonna run in sync with all these things together. And then you can combine like, okay, cool. I'm gonna combine this with this.
Okay.
These things should like, again, the order of how they're done, like every test should have an objective. Like you're hoping here to learn females or males or couples perform the best from like a conversion standpoint. In terms of talking heads, like where do you start from? In terms of mashups, like what's the best reasoning? In terms of the mini VSL, like captions, results, mobile, like they all have a particular objective. And then you go into the level 2 iterations, which is like now you mash between these things.
Yeah.
But you just take the long form thing and you just like spin it. So you're at 25, halfway there. I haven't even pulled out like the real like menu item yet. Like this, we're getting here without like any frame of reference, right? Like there's nothing. What I will show you, like you'll get your ideas will light up after this, but like
Yeah.
this is just a completely raw right now. So is this process making sense?
It is making sense. Yeah. The question is, dude, how do you keep track of all the learnings? Like,
I'll share that with you. I built that out today.
because like it's gonna be a lot for my memory to remember all this. Yeah.
Yeah, you run it like a scientist effectively. That's the only way to do it.
Yep. Okay.
But we keep going. That's your logical brain. We're not there yet. We're in the creative side for now.
Okay.
Um, keep going. If you got ideas, keep going.
Uh, do we have, let's say, we should do talking head plus best case study or best testimonial. So not rather than a mashup, just talk about a single person. Actually, yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
this?
That's that. Never mind. Never mind. Yep. Shit, I'm running out of ideas then.
Well, what do these guys do? Like, what are you inspired by that they do?
Okay, for example, Ben Heath, the intro of the video is basically him sitting at the desk saying, hey, hey, come here, let me show you something. And then goes to the laptop and starts rolling through the winds. So we could do something like that with the best mashups beginning right there. So I could do, let's say, 5 different locations. I've seen other people do it at like a swimming pool where they're trying to show a coach lifestyle. Other people do it in the car.
So to me, again, this is why going backwards, I put that there.
Yep.
That's a lot of work. Like you have to think about the environment and the environment is not how you want it to be. You're not going to shoot it. And if you're not going to shoot it, that's why none of this is really predicated except like this VSL will be used across everything. It's a one size fits all thing. But when you start going into like the
Okay.
swimming pool and this, like that's a lot of work. That's more work than this,
Yeah.
at least to me. Unless you're like the best actor and you can like show up on camera, like by all means, like let's do that. But I'm trying to work
For me,
around.
it's easy, honestly, because I make short form content like all the time, so that's why I mentioned it.
I mean, could we take your best short form content?
Yes.
Are they like vertical? Like what's the format of them?
Yeah, vertical usually.
And what would you say they're missing? Are they missing like a social proof? Are they missing like a example of what the product actually is? Like what are those videos? What do you feel like if you had a graphic, it would be very helpful?
Some of the short form content doesn't have CTA. That's the biggest thing. And some are missing the social proof element. Like the content itself was good.
Short form, CTA, social proof.
Yeah.
Just again, ideas coming to mind. Not saying this is right. Just there's no right or wrong answer. So then you can go A, B, C. And then you go, what do you think has the biggest impact? The type of short form content or the type of social proof?
I really think it's going to be the type of short form content.
So you keep everything constant but the short form. And
Yeah.
then this will definitely feel and look like an ad 100%. And
Yeah.
it'll be very, very different. I'll show you what the final product will look like for you.
This is like an infinite game. You can just keep fucking creating this
Bro,
forever.
I haven't showed you the menu. Like, you're about to see the menu. This was, for example, the client was just like,
The relief.
their two best videos were the following: a UGC video of her
Yeah.
doing a review for 3 minutes, and then a video of somebody making a B-roll of like a drink.
Right.
Focus.
And you know on TikTok they have like GTA people just like flipping through shit. This is literally GTA for adults.
Are often reported. Friday night, and we're gonna
That's
try
it.
out these new.
So people like can listen and like watch and they can flip back and forth.
Yeah.
And then when you find the winning thing, the video I showed you before was a different video of hers. You just swap that in, you keep this the same. Swap
Right.
this out. We also had like the B-roll switches, and you can just like reorder all those things.
Yeah.
To show you the 3 grid,
Friday night, and we're gonna try out these new breeze lions.
same chick, but we had like graphic and then ingredients.
Yep.
It feels like an ad for sure, but it's gonna stand out.
Dude, that one looks great. Did it perform?
They haven't had a chance to run that one yet. I can
Okay.
show you other ones too. We made like, this is when I realized what this product actually was. It's the iteration model, which is like clutch. That was this one.
Bridal colors.
That was it. So that was like the same video, but now it's a different video of hers. Same thing here.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like
Bridal colors.
same thing here, but different video here. There are two best all-time ones. So here's another short form one, best to best, best to best, best to best, best to best. Make them all very different. And it's gonna look like that. You can make this in Canva too, super easy.
Yep.
Any other ideas? I mean, you're at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're at 30, 20 more to go. You can keep going.
Yeah. I was doing carousel ads. That is something we've never tested. And that's gonna be a brand new format for us.
Okay, what do you want to do with carousel?
So carousel, we were just basically taking the VSL and putting it as words like on the screen. So like saying on the carousel, it's like, hey, if you want to book more weddings, step 1 is run scroll stopping ads. Step 2 is have an automated funnel. Step 3, la la la. And then the final CTA is, hey, tap the button below to see our process in the short video.
So VSL to statics, basically?
Yep.
How can you iterate on that though? Like the first card? Because it's always a hook that's the most important thing.
Right.
So for the carousel, you're gonna have like, it's gonna look like this. and like it'll kind of be overlaid a bit, and then it's gonna like cut off around here. Like it'll look
Yeah.
like
I have it made if you want to see an example.
in a bit we can go through this, but like how would you iterate on this one? Like, are you gonna call out a person?
Yeah. So the first card I was trying between the results, like this is how we help wedding photographers make X amount of money, or if you were trying to book 2 to 4 weddings per month, do this. So it's the essentially the hook. But then the hard part is we also don't have the rest of the carousels proven yet. So like this entire concept is super unproven.
Okay. Well, what can you remember this?
Yeah.
You have this as an asset, you have this as an asset. Can you put 5 different customers without the editing one, just raw videos?
Right.
Put that as each carousel.
Easy.
That's it. There's your carousel.
Okay. So should I even make that beginning intro hook card or no? Just 5 carousels of 5 different customers.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably do that. Like if you feel like, because you can do carousel and you can do um single, like raw customer. Good. Let's say raw UGC,
Yeah.
where you're not doing mashups. They're not edited. And somebody can see like, I don't know if you do the full interview, that's a thing. Like if you can somehow like cut it up where it's just like,
I have those.
yeah. I know I know you know what I mean. Just I would
Yep.
do those. And then for the first card, it's like how you said it, like I guess like it's what do you want to test? If you want to test the format of a carousel, like that's really the objective here is like
Does it work as a
format.
format?
So like what's the proven thing? Probably like you've tested the headlines already.
Right.
So like H1, and then you have like your carousel,
Yep.
and then H2, H3. And again, for some of these, you might like not actually get 5. You might just end up with 4, and it's fine. But if you strive for 5 and you get at least 3, that's better than like having 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I just repurpose, like have a spreadsheet of like your best headlines. I mean, you have pretty diversified like creative stack right now,
Yeah.
where you have to see the menu still.
Cool. Are we missing one more or no?
3 more at least. We can keep going, man. We're like 10% done.
Yeah.
Making sense again so far? All
It,
this?
it is. It is.
Okay, I'm gonna show you this. I'll give you some ideas. Here's your menu. You can iterate. I'm gonna pull these apart now. I just built this out today, so it might be like unfinished,
Yeah.
but it should give you like an idea of like how what can you iterate on, like the visual elements.
Mm-hmm.
Overlays, like you can play a TikTok comment on top of that. Take your best video and do a TikTok comment saying like, this is 100% a scam. And like you just cut to UGC people talking.
Dude, that's great.
So that's just one idea, right? You can do fake TikTok, fake Facebook. Those
Yeah.
will work. Different frames. We just did that. Different headline banners. You can do CapCut style where it's just like in your face talking. You can do what everybody on Facebook does, which is white background with black text, or you can do a bright color with white text. I think you're gonna get marginal wins here. And it's like this is like an from here it's like you want to pick the stuff that like has the highest lift. So another thing was like the visual sequence shuffling. I didn't fully finish this one, but it was like taking the existing videos that you have and like adding in, like with Brian he had like B-roll or some other stuff. Like it's the same visual, but now you're shuffling what's being done within it, like a visual demonstration or something like that.
Yep.
So you might like not have any ideas here. Like I think you can definitely do a TikTok comment.
Yep.
And then I would go into copy. For headline, you can do one headline just for problem, one for reaction, one for question, one for results, one for command. You can do 5 problems, 5 reactions, 5 questions, 5 results. Like you can start with 1 of each, 5 of 1, whatever you want. And that's for your headline copy. Again, you know this. You can focus on the value prop like that you're talking, same with the hook script. Right? You're just trying to identify like when you start with a problem, does it work with your market? When you start with the results, does it resonate with your market? When you start with a reaction, a question, a statement, right? And like those are your first intro things. You're done. Cycle it.
Gotcha.
And then within this, the ad structure flow. This is what I just showed you. New starting points. Start from a reaction, start from a problem, start from a review, start from a demo. And then you cut to the beginning of the same video.
Mm-hmm.
VSL, you start from the bridge, you start from the epiphany, you start with the problem, you start with the reaction, you start with the result. Cut the video, cut the VSL. Done. So we already kind of have that one done.
Yep. Okay.
Social proof, like I haven't fully built this one out yet, but you can definitely put like customer reviews up and like stack them. You know, like a actual review, like with a 5-star and like
Right. Like a screen.
a screen.
Yeah.
You can even do Instagram DMs, stuff like
Mhm.
that.
You can do text messages too.
Here's like call to action. You can play with the messaging. So it's like urgent, benefit, curiosity, direct action. Like you want to go more direct. So it's like, what are 5 ways you can go direct? With the CTA design, like I don't think this would have the biggest lift, but like the colors, the type of button or animations or iconography, like I wouldn't focus on that. This is interesting, CTA timing. Like most people will put a CTA at the very end. What if you had it always available? Or what if you had it at like 3, 7, 13, and 23 seconds in the video? Random times. And then placement. At the top, across the middle, across the bottom. Like where does that play in? And like I kind of stopped here. I just like was building out like the seasonality and like sales period.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to get to is like this whole process, like how do you just look at this and then each one will have an example and you're like, I want that and I want that. It's like going to Chipotle, like I want all these things. And it's built like it's done. Like you can visualize it. Because if you didn't have this thing, we wouldn't have gone to where we gotten. Because like you had that example and then like it was a visual reference and then you pull these. You're like, well,
Right.
these guys are doing this and these guys are doing that. And I have this. And because you don't have a backlog, you can't visualize what you can do.
Yep.
Is that kind of making sense? All
It
this?
does. It does.
Okay. Where do you want me to go back to? I kind of just went through a lot.
I'm good, to be honest. This is plenty of creatives for me to work on. To just bang these out is a task on its own.
Does it feel overwhelming?
Yeah.
What part?
I think the editing part of it is going to be overwhelming, but I'll send it to my editor and yeah, that'll be fine.
Did this thing kind of make sense? Like all these?
Oh, dude, I'm like already thinking about creating my own version of it for high ticket. Because like how we think about a few different things, it's different. Because like we'd be starting off with the audience awareness segment. Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? Are they product aware? Then each of those audience segments are going to go through this entire thing. It would be the audience segment. Then what's the overall claim that's being made in the VSL? Validate that claim. Then from that VSL validated claim, we can now start to break it out into many things because each of those claims are hooks, right? So like if in the VSL we talked about getting leads, that's a hook. If we talked about scroll stopping ads for only $10 a day, that's a hook on its own. Now we can just start to bite-sized it and then goes into your iteration menu.
Yeah, exactly. And then wherever you have an abundance of, like if you have too much visual but low copy, then you just focus on the messaging. If
Yep.
you know your copy really well, like you gotta fill this in with like new visuals, right? And then it goes back to like, well, what are the visuals? What kind of things can you create? Well, you can pull from static, or I guess like a stock photo library, which you have thousands of things now. Unlimited. Like, dude, you can literally do this. One, two, three, four. Four
Mm-hmm.
different couples, and then you have a like a banner down the middle.
Yep.
And like you play with like where are the couples located? Like in a forest, on like a beach, in the mountains. And like you just like, oh, cool. You're not necessarily hoping to get a winning ad, but you're like, what direction make is like getting the best results? Like mountain weddings are doing really well. So then
Right.
you just go deep into mountain weddings. Or if like Florida, like palm trees and sand is doing really well, then you just make five more ads just with like that. You're just like hoping for like a hit, not a home run.
Yep.
And then your win
What's the,
stack.
yo, what's the 80/20 on that iteration menu? Is it like left to right in order of significance? Like test the things all the way on the right when you run out of stuff?
That's a great question. Like I kind of was going here and I was just like, yeah, I mean, you don't want to do this because like that
It's
like is
like,
not going to yield
yeah,
anything. And like
yeah,
this is really not going to yield anything. But like this is going to either be detrimental or it'll be very helpful. Like hardcore CTA like timing, like if it's always there versus like end of the video, like you're either going to drop people or people are going to click right away.
yep,
And then like how you tell people to do it, like that's also pretty substantial. Like you can also have no CTA and it's also pretty substantial. But these are all pieces. Um, like this wouldn't be on a standalone thing. It's in addition to what you have. Like the current UGC mashup videos don't have a CTA.
correct.
If you put a CTA on there, I would bet that they would do better. It would have a lower click-through rate, but a higher conversion rate. That's my bet.
Yeah.
And like, there's a whole other test right there. Like, play with the CTA in the video. Keep the video the same. Like, don't even do a headline banner. Just keep it raw, but then do CTA.
Mm-hmm.
Just an example, and like, there's like a whole other concept. But um, to answer your question of like, well, how do I build this, right? That's something you asked. Like, what is the this is what I built up. So let's say that's like the thing you want to test, experiment design.
Yep.
Who like I'm big on like who created the idea because like that person had the reference point in their mind. Like if like you came up with this idea, I'm gonna put your name there because I want to ask you like where did you pull this from and
Yep.
what other like supporting ideas you have. And then I'm like having a reference of like what do I want to iterate on? What do I want to like what yeah, it's like referential and then it's what segment of the video am I testing? And then what do I want to test? Like CPA, click-through rate, like what do I think it'll increase? And then how do I log it? It's just like, what
Nice.
does this variant do?
Yep.
Like spend, revenue, purchase ROAS for you might be like not revenue, but cost per appointment.
Yep.
And then the thing that you are betting it against, like the
Control. Yep.
control.
Yep.
And then like, what do you notice?
Oh,
And you
perfect.
log that, it's done.
So simple. Okay.
And then I want to have associated experiments, like what are things similar to it and how does that tracking as well?
Got it.
And then you start having like a hit rate percent, like how many of your things are like winning? And if you're like 0%, you got to change the menu, right? Like what's that 80/20? But like if every single thing you're testing is outperforming, don't change it. Like just keep going, keep iterating. Does that kind of make sense, all this?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What are your tabs? So start here, backlog, and active, just 3 stages.
Backlog, what's actively being done, like what's launched.
Got it. Okay.
And then that's like that's kind of like what's being worked on by the team, and then like that's what's approved by the client and then shipped.
Cool.
I haven't rolled this out yet. Like this is something that I'm giving every single client like a product update where it's like I found myself like concepts are cool for the ideation, iterations are where you make the money. And dude, I would like tell people just like iterate and nobody does it. But I kid you not, this thing I just showed you will take us 2 hours to make 40 ads. It's so simple. So simple.
Yeah.
It's like, where is it complicated?
So what you're saying is don't come up with fresh concepts all the time. Just iterate on the winners, even if they've like fatigued.
Yeah, dude. Like if you have the
Okay.
winning thing, fine, like spin it off, like iterate
Okay.
on it. Like it's like think about it this way: concepts are finding the lemon trees, iterations are squeezing them as many times as you can to make the lemonade. If you
Yep.
just find the tree but you don't do anything with it, cool, you like dug up a tree, like it grew, but you didn't actually get any value from the lemons.
Yeah.
Iteration is you take it and you squeeze it, and like the second iteration is like, oh, you can actually squeeze it even more. The third iteration is like you can take this little clamp and like it'll squeeze the juice out of it. And then by the fourth iteration, you've probably over exhausted the idea and it's like not worth anything anymore. It's like Frankenstein had. It's just too much.
Gotcha.
So I think it's like, I don't know what that balance is. I've been asked that question before. I think it's like 70-30, like 70% iterations, 30% concepts.
Yep.
Concepts feed it, iterations fuel it.
Yeah. I mean, usually 60 to 80% of my new concepts fail. So I'll do 10 concepts and two of them will actually work. If I'm lucky, four. So that's also a lot of wasted ad spend.
Yeah, so anytime you have a winning thing, just find out how you can iterate at least
Yeah.
5 times on it. Like what 5 ways can you just like redo it? Same video with different call to action button. Same video with a different hook. Same video with like you just re-record the hook with a new VSL. And you
So
just
yo, the next question is, would it make, I guess then it would make sense for me to just have an in-house editor and their entire job is just to think about this and keep creating variations.
as long as you're creating new concepts to feed that person and get the data, then yeah. But
Yeah,
if you stop creating,
it's not gonna
you
work.
know
Yeah.
they're just iterating, they're gonna break. It's gonna catch up.
Right.
Just like sales reps and then sales. You have to like have the balance.
Yep.
Leads and then appointments booked. And if you overextend, like you're gonna lose the people or you're not gonna have the capacity. So that's what I'm trying to solve. Like that's why I'm calling it like creative ops. Like it's like production, it's operations and marketing, right? Like how do you balance the both? Producing the product and selling. You overproduce, you're behind in marketing. You have to turn it off. It's like if you're not doing marketing well, like you have too much capacity. It's like what's that chicken and egg problem? And on the creative side, like people make too much shit creative when they can just make their thing better. You're gonna get at least like, bro, like 1 or 2 winners from here for sure.
Oh
And then
yeah.
you spin that off and you
Oh
just
yeah.
reignite your campaign. Like whenever you're down, like you just run the process. Like, cool, you do this in 2 weeks.
Yep.
You're gonna have new ideas. You might have
Right.
the same inspiration, but now you're gonna have new things that worked. You
Yep.
do it all over again. It's gonna be a whole new thing.
Cool.
I hope that answered this
It
question.
does. It does. Okay.
And then your question of like, how do you structure it in ad sets?
Oh, I figured it out. Don't worry.
I mean, this is your ad set.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah. When I was asking about the ad sets, I was basically thinking about it like if I was to do talking head videos and they're all drastically different and it's just pure talking head, nothing mashed up, no editing yet. Would it be fine to have 5 drastically different talking head videos in one ad set and seeing which one's the winner and then start iterating on that winner?
Sure, but like to create those 5 talking head like unique talking heads, that's gonna be a lot of time.
Forget about time, but like from a media buying standpoint, like is that scientific? I mean, I guess it is. It's like finding out which script is the best.
Yeah, I mean, like this is like very extreme holdout testing, which is like you're keeping everything so constant, which makes it easy to do an experiment design. But
Yeah.
then when you have 5 things with different variables, like you might be holding with your left hand, and then like you show a different thing in a different side of your face, and like people might not like resonate with that. Like it's just like weird stuff with like humans where one little variable can throw everyone off, you know?
Right.
Or you do
And
it the next day and like you didn't shave, so it's like you have a little bit more facial hair. Like maybe people don't trust
yep,
that.
it could also be like, me recording with a different shirt on, different location. So it's like, yeah, that's something I wanted to dive a little bit on, man. Like if, let's say I have 5 different scripts and then I have to create 5 creatives with those scripts each, would it be like I'm recording them in a different location, a different shirt? One is with a cell phone, one is with a professional camera.
So what you're saying versus this, like one is like so simple, and one is
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know I don't know the answer to that question. Like you just got to
Okay.
go in stages. Like you'll figure all that out
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
But like I would never like I find it very hard to believe you're actually gonna execute on any of that because it's so hard. So many
Yeah.
variables to like factor where you're just gonna be like you're gonna resort back to like the easiest thing.
I think that's why I haven't done it. Because in the past, when I just did talking head videos, I just did one take in one room, just said
Yeah,
fuck it.
yeah. But if you're 100% confident, like you saying this line in this way during this time, you're just gonna just do 10 of those right away, and then there's your content.
Yep.
And then if you like really dial it in, you're like, all right, cool. Problem, starting with a problem outperforms all these other 4. What are 10 problems people in your thing are having? Or like if results, like see how product helped Michelle go from this to that. See how product helped Ryan go from this to that. See how product helped Phil go from that to that.
Yep.
And then you're like, okay, cool. Names that are shorter that have 4 letters are doing the best. Let me just do more of those. I don't know that it'll work, but that's my hypothesis.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm good. Okay. I've
hopefully
like
that was helpful.
that was extremely helpful, dude. One quick side tangent. Did you agree with I saw you watch the Cole's CMO quantum call, remember? And then he was talking about testing new angles and concepts in dynamic creatives. That is so unscientific. Would you ever do that? Because what I took away from it is they're probably putting like 5 headlines, 5 photos or videos, everything just mashed up into one thing and seeing whatever the fuck works.
I can tell you this, I don't know the dynamics of how much budget is being allocated there, but if they're spending, like they said, $20,000 a day, I'd be okay testing $1,000 a day towards that, just to know, right? But like, it's a distribution thing. Like if you're spending $500 a day, that might be $50 worth of dynamic creative testing, and it might not be worth it.
Hmm.
But for them, like I find it very hard to believe that all of their budget is going to that for testing.
Yeah.
That could be like, I think he was saying there's like 3 or 4 experiments to like be testing, right? And it's like that could be a experiment. And that's why I don't want to put anything around media buying technicalities here because like I talked to someone an hour before talking to you and was like media buying questions. I'm like, no, you're getting it wrong. Just like focus on the creative and like the offer and the landing page, and you're gonna do you're gonna make media buying easy. But like the intricacies of like budget and like attribution window and like that's like not gonna move the needle because once you have that dialed in, like you're gonna put shit creative in and you're gonna blame it on the creative or
Yeah.
the attribution. But like I mean, fundamentally, if you get a good script with a good headline, with a good value proposition, with good visual creatives, you can run that without a pixel and it's still gonna convert. I just think that's the case, but like, it's gotta be bulletproof with the offer and everything. Like you say, marketing, right? Like, I can have no product and you can sell something if the product's good, if you do the marketing and sales right.
Mm-hmm.
But like, think about you wearing a suit versus you wearing just like the t-shirt you're wearing as dynamic creative testing or ABO. It doesn't matter. You're gonna close the deal.
Yeah,
The product's good.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get hung up with the tech.
No.
Cool. Love it. Thanks, dude. Are you able to send me that Figma, this thing?
Yeah. Let me send it to you now before.
I like your In and Out hat.
I just saw it.
Yeah.